Hello everyone, it's Sydney or Autumn Plains, and welcome back to the channel. After what was supposed to be a break from Animal Crossing, I'm here with my third attempt at a spring island on my second Switch. This is my new island called Wildflower. I made this mood board in Canva with pictures from Pinterest. It's very much cottagecore with meadow vibes and hints of vintage elements. On a super exciting note, I want to thank you all for 400 subs here on the channel. I never thought that many people would resonate with my content. So thank you all for your continued support. If you'd like to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so that way you get notified anytime I make a new video. Now let's get right into the build. I'm starting with a grass path as my main path. I think it's perfect for all sorts of natural islands, but especially a Meadowcore theme. Normally, I try to find a dirt path and then have a secondary path to break that up. But something about the grass works different for me, and I don't feel the need to break it up as much. However, my process is still pretty messy. I was having a hard time figuring out how the circular part of the path should be laid out. So I put down the blanket code and log where I knew I wanted to have them, so that way I could have a frame of reference. Now that I have the log and blanket down, I can start figuring out the inner part of the path around it. I want it to feel natural and have some open space around the blanket. That way it doesn't feel too cluttered, but I can also add flowers or filler coats if I want to. I'm taking a break from the path to start placing my fencing down. This helps me get a better visual of the final build. I'm also planting a tree for more vertical height and foliage. I will probably end up overusing them on my island, but honestly, I am in love with these fence door cutout standees. I can't quite convey what it is that makes these so wonderful, but they are. Even though the grass doesn't need to be broken up as much as the dirt path might, I still want to fit in a secondary path. I'm using these adorable white plank codes to help guide where I want people to walk. If this is your first time here, I'm constantly going back and forth or opening the camera app to check and see how this is going to look from different angles, and how I'm intending for this to be viewed when people tour the dream address. This helps me find the right spot to place everything. I'm making a little laundry area with a book by it since I'll be having Maple's house around here. And since she's the normal personality type, she always talks about air drying her laundry or her reading habits. Plus, I think it looks super cute on top of the rug code. Now I'm starting on the path where I'm going to place Maple's house. I know right now it looks very linear and unnatural, but just stay with me, I'll fix it. Moving on to the very front of the entrance, I'm messing with some fencing and flowers to try and give off that feeling that this is a place or town that you happen to stumble across. Or just to make it feel more homey. I don't know, it makes sense in my head though. Making a little blanket area is always my favorite thing to do in this game. It looks very simple, but there are so many ways that you can make them. I think my favorite is to make this layered effect. And the tree nearby makes it feel more real to me, like you're sitting in a shady spot on a sunny day. For the items I'm decorating the blanket with, I love the combo I chose. The wide-brimmed straw hat especially. Ever since I found it, I'm sure it's become my favorite hat to wear. I used to use the medieval building sides for this, but I found that terraforming some cliffs and then using my storage shed as a door helps me visualize a villager house better. I'm actually customizing Maple's home, inside and out. And yes, I did speed through the DLC each time I started a new island on the Switch. I guess you can say I'm just dedicated like that. I was actually inspired by the default exterior of Daisy's home and made the door pink instead. I feel like it's the best look for a cottage in the meadow while keeping my color scheme. With the house placed, I'm adding some more codes and some tree stumps. If you didn't already know, you can cut them at any stage after the sapling. My favorite Meadowcore islands are usually full of flowers. I've got my color palette of green, yellow, white, and pink to work with. But I get really picky about how they get placed near one another. So, here's a fun little before and after transition. This little tea party that I'm making outside of Maple's is going to be in the final product, but it'll be on the other side with some additions. I am absolutely loving the jam jars and the white log furniture I'm using here. I know that technically the front of resident services could be counted as a separate build, but I wanted to include everything that you can see from the view at the airport. I got inspired after watching Shy, also known as Shyleaf, stream a build on her current Meadowcore island with an eating area amongst a field of flowers. I really love that the Turkey Day items have a spring color variation.
I appreciate that I can use such a cute set of items for more than one season. I'll be placing custom code pathing underneath this. I just wanted to be able to see how the tables and chairs would look together, and if it looked best centered with the plain Party Lights arch. This also gives me an opportunity to see which chairs I like best for the build. I'm at it again with the grass path, because when I think of meadows, I tend to imagine soft grass with lots of flowers around. I'm placing the items back on top of the path. I've got the wedding cake and some food items placed on the tables. I like to imagine all the villagers gather here to eat together. The chairs will end up being changed out in the final version because I wanted every seat to be able to be sat in just in case I had friends over for a play date or something. You may have noticed the storefronts earlier in the video. I wanted to keep that. So, I decided to make a garden shed out of them. I've always wanted to use these track codes and also the white garden wagons. Now I'm using them together. Now that the garden shed idea is established, I'm closing in the rest of the fencing. Maybe Maple tends to the flowers here in her spare time. I'm making a little secret path connecting the two. Now, all of you who have seen this know about the secret. Don't tell anybody. Or do, I'm not your mom. I'm connecting all the plank pathing now. I want there to be different directions you can head in, but still have a clear and concise pathway to walk. also adding in the rest of my fencing with another gate, filling in the flowers, and then we can do a final walkthrough. That concludes today's speed build. I hope that you're as excited as I am for this island. As always, my card linking all my socials and any credits will be in the description below. I am still working on finding all the custom codes that I'm currently using on this island, so when I get those together, I'll do my best to update the description with them in some place convenient for you to find them, like Pinterest or my card. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!